Hello everyone, I hope all is well. I want to say thanks for joining the channel. If you have not yet done so, please do so. Send the algorithm a message that the content is worth watching. I learned by researching and I want to share that research with you. Help us grow together. So here's something that always puzzled me. The same people who crossed the ocean, killed millions of indigenous people, and took their lives and took their lands are now terrified of being replaced. Just imagine that. They terrorize the people, wipe them out, and now they're fearful of being replaced. That's not irony. That's history having a sense of humor. This is not a joke though, because the consequences of such negative, derogatory talk, this is called the Great Replacement Theory. This isn't just about white people being paranoid. It's dangerous, it's deadly, and black people around the world, you should take it personal. That's fact. I did a video on this before, but I wanted to go back on this topic. So let's talk about the theory, what it actually is, where it came from, and why we need to pay attention. That is important. Many individuals talk about certain things, but they have not studied it. And I'm saying to you at this point in time, read the word and the world. So let me take a step back to my high school days in Jamaica. We learned about what happened when the Europeans came. They called it, they came to discover. Discovered what? They discovered people living here. They also claimed that they came to Christianize the West. Christianize who? These individuals had their religions before. So here's what they didn't say. By the time they were finished discovering the people, the indigenous people, what happened? What do you think happened? They were wiped out, many of them. They were replaced. So here's a set of individuals who talk about the replacement theory, and they have replaced so many generations and people. When I was actually in university in 2002, that is in England, I watched a documentary about Australia. A man who had lived there for a long time, talking about his ancestors. And he said when the British invaded in 1788, the people were willing to share. They were willing to share the land. And when they started on the agreement to share the land, fences were built on their very own land. Then they told them that they couldn't use it. Then they said, you can't use it at all, and they stopped them from hunting. Within decades, there were massacres, removal of people from various areas. But this was not isolated to Australia. If we talk about the Native Americans in North America, we'll see what happened. Thousands of individuals were slaughtered. Millions of people were taken from Africa. Systematic destruction, all in the name of civilization and colonialism. That is so sad. So the question is that we must reflect on the people who did the replacement of others are now afraid of being replaced. That doesn't make sense to me. I think it's a greater thought that we must examine. So we're going to mash down that lie today. Let's examine it together. And we have to build within a construct of historical perspectives. The Great Replacement Theory is a conspiracy theory. It means it has no basis. It claims that white people, especially in Europe and North America, are being intentionally replaced by non-whites, notice, non-whites, immigrants. There's a secret plot to eliminate white people through immigration. Just think about that. Through low birth rate. Just think about that. And through multiculturalism. Now, United States has a wonderful culture. It's blended, it's rich, the food is wonderful, all because of blending of cultures. But why don't people want that to take place? I think it's awesome when you have so many things coming together. But we have to face the fact. But let's go back. According to this theory, projected by politicians, especially those on the left, the orchestrating of this is to gain power. Immigrants and people of color, framed as invaders, send a message that their intentions are to destroy white culture. This is far from the truth. Let me be clear. This is not real. This is not a secret plot. This is not a shadow group trying to eliminate white people. That's far from the truth. All we want to live is in peace and unity with everyone. But the people who believe in it, they are real and they are dangerous. And we can see when that happens, it affects a lot of people. Those who push this lie turn fear into hate. Hate destroys. And they teach their followers that immigrants are threats, that black people are threats, that diversity is a weapon used against them. What I want is peace and harmony. That's all I'm asking for. The Taino people of the Caribbean, genocide. Australian Aboriginal people, genocide. Native American people, the Middle Passage and slavery, genocide. These aren't theories. They are historical facts that happen, and we have to face these facts every day. So let's not forget the history. Let's go back to central our conversation on what happened. So when people who resemble those who carry out these atrocities say they are being afraid of being replaced, we need to ask a deeper question. Yes, we need to dig deeper. What are they really afraid of? What are they really afraid of? You have to ask that question. So let me tell you why this matters to black people and to brown people too. On June the 17th, 2015, at the Emmanuel African Methodist Church in Charleston, South Carolina, 9 black people were killed. They gathered for Bible study. They welcomed a young man by the name of Dylan Roof. Yes, I'm sure they must have prayed for him. I'm sure they must have greeted him warmly. I'm sure they extended neighborly love to him, because that's what Jesus would have wanted them to do. He sat with them for an hour, then pulled out a firearm and murdered them. The names are listed right here. They were not soldiers. They were no threats. They were praying in their own church, and their life ended. Dylan Roof believed in the Great Replacement theory. He wrote about this in his manifesto. He said he had acted this way because white people were being replaced and destroyed. But when we look at situations, we have to look at Christchurch in New Zealand. There was a massacre. El Paso, Texas, there was a massacre. Buffalo, New York, there was another. Pittsburgh, there was another. Poway, there was another. And Quebec City, there was another. All in the name of the replacement theory. Every one of these attackers cited the Great Replacement theory, and everyone said that they were defending white people from extinction. Now, we know, if we look at the history and we look at what is taking place, and let us not forget, most recently, Charlottesville 2017, they marched with torches chanting, "You will not replace us, and Jews will not replace us." This is what happened in America. They were talking about immigration policies. They were talking about elimination. They were driving people to have fear. So why does this matter to black people? Here's the reality. When white supremacists fuel hate in our society, the consequences for black people is death. And that is why it's so important to understand this context. It happened during slavery. It happened during the Reconstruction. It happened during Jim Crow. These are some things that have happened. And let me point blankly put it, it is happening now. Great Replacement theory didn't begin in the United States. It began in Europe. It was exported, born out of colonial fear. The next time you hear someone talk about people being replaced or invaded, ask yourself, who is telling the story? Who is telling me to be afraid? What do they gain from this fear? And who actually loses when we turn on each other instead of questioning the system? These are my critical thoughts. So the replacement theory is really a hoax, designed in lie to protect the powerful The replacement theory is a lie designed to protect power by creating enemies. And that's all for now.